There are Hyundais sitting on used lots right now for under $6,500. Cars that will outlast models costing twice as much. The problem is most buyers walk straight past them. They see the wrong year, the wrong badge, or the wrong trim level, and they move on. I have spent years working on these cars. I know exactly which ones the market is sleeping on. Today, I'm giving you 5 of them. People hear I-30 and they think budget hatchback. They see 2011 on a window sticker and they think old. Then they walk straight past it to look at something with a Golf badge or an Astra badge, and that is exactly why it is sitting at $3,000 to $4,500 when it should be worth more. Here's what most buyers do not know. The first generation i30 was engineered in Germany. Hyundai opened a technical center in Rüsselsheim specifically to develop European market cars, and the i30 was the first serious result of that work. The suspension tuning, the structural rigidity, all of it came from engineers who knew exactly what European roads demand. This was not a car thrown together to hit a price point. It was built to compete. The 1.6-liter Gamma petrol is the key, sold across multiple Hyundai and Kia models for years. Simple, naturally aspirated, no turbos to fail, no intercoolers to leak. I have customers with these at 220,000 kilometers who have never touched the engine. Oil changes, one water pump, the occasional sensor. That is it. If you find a clean 2011 or 2012 with a stamped service book, check the timing belt history because it is due around 90,000 kilometers, and check the rear wheel arches for any early rust. Outside of that, do not think twice. These do not come up clean very often, and they disappear when they do. The i20 is the car most people consider and then talk themselves out of. They decide they need something bigger. They convince themselves they need more space, a bigger engine, something that does not look quite so obviously like a city car. And then they go and buy exactly the wrong thing for how they actually drive. The reality is that most people cover less than 40 kilometers a day, drive alone almost every time, and never once use the extra boot space or the extra engine they convinced themselves was essential. The i20 does everything those people actually need, and nothing they do not. The second generation that launched in 2014 was a genuine step up. Interior quality improved, ride, comfort improved, refinement improved. The 1.2-liter 3-cylinder is not turbocharged, which at this mileage and age is not a weakness. It is a feature. No boost to fail, no intercooler pipes to crack in winter, just a simple engine that any shop can work on with parts available everywhere for prices that do not hurt. You can find a 2016 or 2017 with full service history for $4,000 to $6,500 right now. The people selling these privately are almost always upgrading, not getting rid of a problem. Check the air conditioning compressor on higher mileage examples and verify the service intervals are met. Outside of that, this is one of the most uncomplicated ownership propositions on the used market today. People see the X35 on a used lot, and they assume it is the budget SUV, the one people bought when they could not quite stretch to the real thing. And that assumption is exactly why a clean 2013 or 2014 with the 2.0 petrol cites at $5,000 to $8,000, while comparable SUVs from European brands cost significantly more and give you significantly more problems. The 2.0-liter 4-cylinder petrol in this generation is one of the most underappreciated engines Hyundai ever built. Naturally aspirated. No turbos to wear, no wastegates to stick, no intercooler pipes to crack in cold weather. Any mechanic who has never seen an iX35 before can work on it with confidence, using parts available at every major supplier for prices that will not make you wince. This was also the car that changed the conversation about Hyundai build quality. Panel gaps were right. Interior materials were competitive with what Volkswagen was doing at the same price point. Owners who bought these new often kept them for a decade. That loyalty tells you something about what the actual ownership experience is like versus what the badge suggests. On any AWD example, verify the transfer case has been serviced and test whether there is any hesitation or vibration when the system engages. The two-wheel drive version is arguably the smarter buy if you are purchasing on value. Find a documented one and you have bought out of the depreciation game entirely. These do not get cheaper from here. Most buyers stop at this point. They find something they like at a price they can justify, and they stop looking. That is exactly why the next two are sitting there waiting. The best value on this list is still ahead. The i40 is the one I find genuinely hard to explain to people because it is so obviously good value and so consistently overlooked that it almost feels like a trick. You can buy a 2015 i40 Tourer with a full service history right now for around $5,000 to $8,000. What you get for that money is a large, comfortable, well-built family car with a diesel that returns real-world economy in the mid-50s miles per gallon on a motorway run, and a boot big enough to carry everything your family owns without a second trip. Hyundai built the i40 specifically to compete with the Volkswagen Passat and the Ford Mondeo in the fleet market. Company car drivers who were put in them on lease deals often came back and bought one privately. That does not happen with cars that disappoint. The 1.7-liter diesel has a chain-driven timing system, no belt to replace. Real-world motorway economy that makes long-distance running genuinely cheap. The reason it sits at number 2 rather than number 1 is the use case. Regular motorway mileage. And this is one of the best value propositions on the used market right now, full stop. Short urban journeys where the diesel particulate filter never gets a proper clean cycle, and you are setting yourself up for a $1,200 to $2,500 repair that is not the car's fault, but will cost you regardless. Know your use case before you commit. The Tourer Estate is the one to find. The premium over the saloon at launch was minimal. The depreciation is hit both equally, and you end up with significantly more car for almost identical money. Find one with documented oil changes and a solid service record. That is a car you buy and drive for the next 8 years. There are 2016 and 2017 Tucsons sitting on used lots right now for $9,000 to $13,000, and nobody's looking at them. A modern crossover with a clean design that still looks contemporary, a 5-star Euro NCAP rating, and a reliability record that consistently beats European alternatives in owner satisfaction surveys. And yet they sit there because buyers walk straight past them to something with a German badge and then wonder why they spent 30% more for a car with a longer list of complaints. The third generation Tucson that arrived in 2015 was the car that changed the conversation about Hyundai permanently. Before it, people considered Hyundai a budget choice. After it, people started choosing Hyundai on merit. The interior quality, the driving dynamics, the feature set for the money, none of it could be dismissed as the acceptable compromise of a cheaper brand anymore. This was a car that stood up to direct comparison with the Nissan Qashqai and the Sea Ateca and came out ahead on value in almost every test. The 1.6-liter naturally aspirated petrol is the one to find at higher mileages. Hyundai offered a turbocharged 1.6 in this generation as well, and while that engine is not a bad unit, the naturally aspirated version is simpler, cheaper to maintain, and a lower risk purchase on an older example. It does everything the car needs for the kind of everyday driving that most people actually do without the complexity that age introduces to forced induction systems. Find a 2016 or 2017 with a full service history under $15,000. Check the brake fluid age and the tire condition because those are the first things a previous owner let slide. Verify the infotainment is working correctly because the screen on early examples can develop faults. Then stop overthinking it and buy it. I have not met a single person who bought one of these on my recommendation and came back unhappy. Not one. 5. Hyundai's the market is getting wrong. A 2011 i30 engineered in Germany and priced at $4,000. An i20 that does everything most people need and none of what they do not. An i35 built to outlast the perception of the brand that made it. An i40 that matches a Passat on every measurable point at a fraction of the price. And a Tucson that changed what a Korean car could be, sitting on used lots now at prices that make no sense for what it actually is. The market is not always right. Sometimes it is just asleep. These 5 are proof of that. If you move before everyone else figures it out, that is your advantage. If this helped you, hit subscribe. I put out content like this every week, and there's a lot more where this came from.